Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Eagle Eye Podcast. It is episode 55, and we are here to talk about everything Las Águilas del América. What a wonderful week it was for some Liga MX action for the men and for the ladies as well. And we'll be breaking down everything you need to know about the upcoming week for America in regards to the league, to the Copa, and then, of course, to the ladies as well. So we got so much to talk about. And before I go any further, let me introduce, as always, my co-host, Mr. Christian Rosendo, and everyone's favorite, straight from Texas, Mr. Cowboy Dan. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
I'm cold.
Cold. Yeah,
I'm
it's been a
cold.
bit chilly.
Yeah, it's 27 degrees right now, and I'm freezing. But since we all had a match, I'm cold.
Nice. Cowboy Dan, Dylan, how we doing?
Dylan.
Hey, hey, I walked out of work to high winds and coldness, and I'm in shorts, and so I'm cold too.
He's like, a cowboy knows no such thing as the word cold.
You got a point there, actually. You really do.
Exactly.
Hey, Dylan, I miss you.
I miss you too.
Well, one thing we do miss already is seeing America play, and no Copa MX game like last week to talk about. We will have one against Atlético San Luis tomorrow. Probably be a good starter to talk about there. But I think we should reminisce a little bit about the Pachuca game, or how do you guys want to break it down? Do you guys want to talk about Copa MX first, get that out of the way, and then we could talk a little bit more about El Profe Insalrunde, as they've been calling him, and his matchup against Pachuca, and then we can go into the big one, calling the Monterrey game.
We can do that. We can go Copa MX, Pachuca, and then Monterrey.
Dylan?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm down.
All right, beautiful. Well, let's get started right there. Then Copa MX coming up for Las Águilas del América in action in Estadio Azteca again tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, that is a kickoff time of 9 p.m. Central Time, correct?
Yes, that's
Yes.
what I saw. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a pretty late game for everyone involved here. It's going to be 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 Central, like I just mentioned. And, of course, for our folks down at the East Coast, 10 p.m. So quite a late game. Some of you guys se van a desvelar going into work a little bit late, but that's okay because we're ready to see our boys take on Atlético San Luis in the Copa MX. Our first home opener. What do we expect from this?
A lot of youngsters playing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think 3 have been confirmed.
Yes, 3 have been confirmed. Mm-hmm.
One of them is Sebastián Córdoba.
Yes, I think we're all excited to see him play.
Another one is, of course, Clemente.
Clemente, yes. And then we have a new one, Ortega.
Correct. Someone who's been at who's actually won stuff with the Mexican national team babies division, and and it has been with the institution for quite some time now. So it would be interesting to see how he steps it up. We can all pray and hope that this is another Edson Alvarez kind of thing, that he comes in and does a good job. But we'll have to wait and see whether or not the guys.
He's tall, right?
Yeah,
he's pretty tall, right?
Yeah, he looks like he's pretty tall.
Yeah, I saw a picture of all 3 of them.
That doesn't take much.
I saw a picture of all 3 of them, and then they were like Cordova, and then Clemente, and then like Ortega's like this.
Ortega's probably just like 5'10", and everyone else is just shorter, and we just assume that he's super huge.
Probably that's gonna be us guys when we all meet up. You guys are gonna be like up here, and then I'll be like, no. You guys are gonna be like up here, and then I'll be like down here.
No, I think we established this last time. I think you and Dylan are around the same height.
We are not around the same height.
Really? I'm the shortest.
I'm the shortest one here. Definitely.
You know what? We'll discuss that. I don't think people want to know our height right now. So interesting enough, we talk about Copa MX and we're looking forward to a game against Atlético San Luis. But what do we really expect from this team? I mean, what did we expect from them last week when they were playing up against Necaxa, and then now this week? What is it that we're expecting? Because it was a pretty poor performance by all standards against Necaxa away. We'll give it at that. But now you have a home game against Atlético San Luis, and you're fielding now mostly all youngsters. What do you expect to see?
Pretty much the same thing last week. I'm not expecting many differences. I think it's going to be a little bit sloppy considering of the amount of youngsters we're going to be fielding. And yeah, I don't think we're going to connect well, but I still think we're going to get the win.
That's quite shocking, to
Is it?
say the least. No, because you'd expect this team to be fluid in all aspects. Now, of course, yes, you are going to get disrupted from the league play into the Copa MX play because these players are on a regular basis playing with each other week in and week out.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd imagine that in the sense, these kids have something to prove. You'd imagine they want to step up to the plate. They want to have a good game. I mean, we'll give you a perfect example. Clemente, who had a terrible game against Pachuca, and we were winning that game. And Piojo still took him out in the second half.
Well,
yeah.
Well, yeah, like you're saying, I kind of expect these players want to step up and show out, because I think we've seen that from a lot of players too, especially coming in these Copa MX games. I know we kind of talked about like the likes of Quintero a little bit. Obviously not the best of games, but he had his flashes, and you kind of want to see more of that. Obviously, we've seen it with Tony Lopez already, Ivan Moreno. And Clemente too, but it's just they got to realize they got to step up. They got something to prove, to Miguel Herrera at this point, to give them minutes, whenever it comes time for the weekend games, because that's their goal in mind, not just the Copa MX game, is to play week in and week out too.
Interesting, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the lineup. Our good friend right here, Mr. Chicken Nugget, part of the Holy Chicken Trinity, says Reyes, Aguilera, Ortega, Paul, Edson, Renato, Clemente, Izarralde, and Roger. Is that confirmed?
I don't know if it's confirmed. I like the lineup, but I'm pretty sure Roger just got cleared to play, so I don't think they would start him right away. But
I honestly expected Roger to start this game.
I mean, as a coach, I wouldn't. But if he says he's 100%, then by all means, do it.
Okay, so let's while I try to verify this, you guys talk to me about the lineup.
Sure, I like it. I don't know about Renato though. I mean, Renato's a great player, but I wouldn't really put him in this match. I would much rather see Tony Lopez play there.
Interesting. Can you talk a little bit more about your boy, Dylan? Because I see him being left out of these things.
Yeah, and I think we'll get to it later too when we talk about the Pachuca game. But it's just really weird and strange to see him out of this whenever before the beginning of the season too. But Piojo said that he's got confidence in Tony. He's got trust in Tony, and that he's going to see a lot of minutes. And we haven't really seen that yet. And it's just strange for him to see Piojo say that, and then start Clemente against Pachuca on the left hand side, and then not looking like he's going to start in this Copa MX game either.
Yeah, and should we be worried about that?
To an extent, I think you should.
And
why? Because let's face the facts. We've look how much we talked about Tony Lopez on this podcast. We gave him the praise. Obviously, he has his ups and downs, and we've seen that plenty of times. But why would Piojo come out and say this about Tony, that he's going to play him, give him the minutes, and then not to? Is there something behind the scenes that we don't know about potentially? Is something else going on? It just kind of makes you wonder a little bit.
Let me jog your guys' memory back a couple of months when we had the same conversation, but with a different player, and who is now in a different team. We had the same conversation in regards to Diego Lainez. Did we not?
We did.
Exactly. Saying Piojo's not giving them enough time. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Is this one of those things where you think he's easing his way through? He knows what Tony has to give. He knows that he can put him in and he'll do a good job, because he's kind of now, if you think about it, he's filling that Diego Lainez role in a sense, coming in second half, maybe not starting when you'd expect him to start, because there was times where Tony got the start last season and Diego was on the bench.
True.
It was rare, but it happened. But, and and you always thought, well, why is Diego Lainez on the bench? And then and maybe this is Piojo trying to find a way for him to kind of mold him into the player that we know he can become, and
But
and maybe this is
right. But if he's trying to do that, wouldn't you think he would be given more playing time? Because you're not going to get molded into a solid player by getting 10 minutes every single match.
No, and I agree to that. And maybe just down the road, he has bigger plans for him,
Hopefully.
And he's just feeling now whether or not he can trust these youngsters at the beginning of the season when it's not kind of the crunch moments when you need those players to step up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe, hopefully he'll get more time than what we're seeing right now, though. I think he's a great player, and he needs to show his potential to the world.
Yeah, I agree. So it looks like the lineup is somewhat confirmed here. Oscar, Paul, Ortega, Aguilera, Reyes, Renato, Edson, Córdoba, Clemente, Insaurralde, and Roger. Now, when we list those names, what is that formation to you guys?
That's
4-4-2?
4-4-2, yeah.
Or technically Insaurralde would play in the cam spot, but in a sense, 4-4-2.
In a sense, 4-4-2, yes. Mm-hmm.
Why is it very interesting to see Córdoba in the midfield?
Isn't that where he plays?
Yeah, I've seen him as a cam or as a winger or as a striker. I've never seen him in a center mid spot.
Well, maybe Piojo's playing him out of position, like he's playing Clemente. Because Clemente's not a winger. We all know that. Well, he can play winger, but he prefers to play in the middle, like as a center mid. So it is weird.
Then you switch out Clemente
you think it's switched?
Córdoba.
Yeah, you think it's switched? Yeah, I think it could be switched.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. We have to wait and see, yeah.
But okay, now running back a couple of those names, you look at the fact of Paul, Aguilera, Reyes, Renato, Edson. These are starters.
These are starters, yes.
In a sense, well, besides Reyes, but he potentially could be a starter. So, it's a pretty good mold of kind of 50-50, 50% experience, 50% youngsters. What is your take on this? And also before anything else, like our good friend Mr. Chicken Nugget says, he plays Uribe's position, but he said Oribe Peralta. Mateus Uribe, he mentions Mateus Uribe, and I question why doesn't he get some minutes just to get him match fit ready?
That's a good point. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, Piojo's a little bit weird. I don't know. I couldn't really think of that.
It's just a Piojo thing. Just one of those Piojo things you just don't know about. You can sit here and ponder and have your theories.
And at the end of the day, we're still not going to get an answer.
Exactly. Unless one of us wants to fly down to Mexico City.
Yeah, I still don't think he'll give us the proper answer.
No, I don't think so.
Well, we'll leave it at the fact that we like the lineup, right?
Yeah, I like the lineup. Like you said, it's a good balance of youngsters and starters. It should make for an interesting play.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm looking at this lineup, and I'd expect attacking football, and I'd expect some goals tomorrow.
We better get some goals.
I'd be very disappointed if we walk away with just scoring one goal.
San Luis is the champion, right? They won the Ascenso last season. Right? Didn't they beat Dorados?
I know Dorados lost. That's all I know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they beat Dorados. I think they came back. I think this is the team that came back.
Well, we're gonna have to get
someone in the chat someone in the chat confirm that, please, before I look like an idiot? Thank you.
We'll have to wait and see. We should hire Insaurralde to kind of just be like the fourth box right there, and he's the one that kind of fact checks for all of us.
I would love
that. Since he already looks like a professor.
I would love that.
Is it me, or do you think like Insaurralde would be the perfect replacement for the Bill Nye the Science Guy show?
Oh my gosh.
I think Dylan agrees.
He's like, welcome back to Insaurralde and Science. Rolls right off the tongue.
See, I told you they beat them.
So San Luis did beat Dorados.
So campeón versus campeón.
Yeah. Campeón versus campeón in a sense. But what can we expect from the San Luis team? We know that they lost against Necaxa.
I mean, they might be a little bit more refined, but I don't think they're going to be that much of a challenge, though, in my opinion.
Alrighty, so then question stands. We play
We-
attacking football. We score
Yes.
some goals.
Yes.
What's your outcome for tomorrow?
4-1.
Wow, that's okay. Dylan?
3-1.
3-1? No one backing up. You know what? I'm going to back up a clean sheet. I'm saying 3-0.
Isn't it funny how last year Oscar Jimenez never played a game, and now this year he's played 2 already? Or he's going to play 2 already?
I'll tell you this much. I think it's because Marchesin's not 100%.
Yes, I think that's definitely the reason.
And even though we had a Marchesin who wasn't 100%, still had a wonderful game against Pachuca.
Yes.
Looks like the chat is very livid. Looks like Chicken Little says another 3-0. Emperor Palpatine, hello, my friend. He says 3-0 as well. Brandon Del Toro saying 5-2. Insal Rule de hat trick. Take that to the bank.
I'm down for that one.
Our good friend Chicken Nuggets saying 4-0. Jose Sepulveda 2-0. From what I can take away is that people are expecting goals.
And a lot of them.
And is this the perfect moment to refine Roger Martinez's confidence in front of goal?
It has to be.
It has to be. Yeah.
Has to be. Yeah, there you go. With the news of Piojo really wanting a new striker, you know, it's now or never for Roger Martinez, because he could find himself on the bench very soon if he doesn't start producing what Piojo wants.
Because we'll talk about this, but you'd much rather have a Henry Martin in form right now than this Roger Martinez, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty then. So we'll leave it at that. Our team should walk away with the result, and anything but a victory, anything but a goleada, I think will cause, cause for concerns. But I think for the most part, we'd expect this team to get the victory.
Yes, definitely.
Which should be a good catapult, since the team will then be traveling to Monterrey to go and face against, the likes of, Monterrey.
I'm excited for this game.
It should be a very good, interesting game. We'll talk about that more a little bit later towards the end of the podcast. But, you're coming off a very good morale in regards to the game against Pachuca. A game we thought was going to be a little bit more tighter, a little bit more harder. Turned out it wasn't the case. Better for us. But now it's whether or not can this team actually play competitive football against a very good side with the roster we have at hand.
Consistent football, I think is what I'm looking for. See if we can. I mean, I guess we're on the same page. Just replicate what we did going into Monterrey.
Yeah. And yeah, because is it time to call for concerns? The fact that this is the roster that we'll most likely have, because I'll tell you this much. We are on the 22nd. That leaves America 9 days. Now, days practically over. That leaves America 8 days to bring in a player. And I will tell you this and now, unless Cecilio Dominguez leaves, we're not getting a player.
You don't think so?
Nope. Unless Cecilio Dominguez leaves, there is no chance that we're going to get another player. Because at this point, it's been the same thing. It's been the same. And a lot of people are acting surprised. A lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, America this, America that, America's taking forever, this and that.
That's always been the case.
This is the same story. Yeah. The same story we've been played for 10, 12 years already. It's the same story every January transfer window. Things don't go well in the draft. And then we're looking outside and things hardly ever happen. Don't get me wrong. There's moments and times where we do, because, of course, the perfect example is Jeremy Menez, Ibargüen. Those two came in last year around this time. But we already had them at least announced at this point,
Yeah.
Still, now you have speculations. You don't have anything confirmed. The only thing that we had possibly confirmed was Nico Castillo, when we knew what happened with that, I
can't believe that was 99% confirmed, and then it all just fell through. It's just our luck.
Why never believe it until you see the player in a jersey, until you see the club announce it. It's rumors, and that's all. Even if they say it's 99.9%, then still that 0.1, then you hold off on it. And that's disappointing, because I do think this team needs one or two players. at least a winger and a midfielder, or a striker and a
Mhm.
midfielder, or just a
But
mix
but
of one of those two.
but do you guys think that the rumored players are the players that we need, or do you think they can actually give something to the team?
Look, the guy from New York Red Bulls looks like he's good. Looks like he's the perfect replacement
Kaku.
for Sessi.
Fun fact: I actually have a picture with him.
Nice. So Agent Christian on his way to get him. He's not here because I think the Red Bulls are still in LA. No.
Yeah, this I don't know where they are. I don't follow the Red Bulls, but I just have a
So
picture
you
with him.
telling me I'm after work I'm gonna have to go to wherever they're at and just go talk to Kaku and
Yeah,
be
just
like, hey,
Kaku. Yeah, just like bajo manito. Be like, yo, you coming or what's up?
I'm so glad our
But he's
audience is not
but
100%
he's
Spanish
like
because that would have sounded so wrong.
he's. Anyways, but he's teasing us though because he keeps liking everything America related on his Twitter. I don't know if you guys seen that.
Look,
Yeah.
again, I will say this: unless Cecilio
Like
Dominguez goes,
teasing. Like
we are not gonna
teasing.
get him.
Like he's a
I like
flirting,
him. He looks like
flirting.
he's a good player. I like him. He looks like he's a good player. I think he's the perfect replacement for Ceci. You know,
I mean, yeah, I think he's a good player.
and we'll leave it at that because that's the only one that we possibly will get, and that's pretty much it.
He likes to play Cam
Um,
though, which is the only problem I see because we have Menez coming back who likes to play Cam too, and you have Uribe
I
who
could
loves to
see
play Cam as well.
Piojo converting him to a winger.
You think so? I mean, he could play a winger though. I think he played a winger for most of his time at Huracan. I think that's how you say it when he
Yeah.
played in
No,
Argentina.
I see
So
him as a winger. We'll have to wait.
let's see.
We'll have to wait.
Hmm.
But that is the transfer rumor. That is what's going on. Don't expect anything to change unless Cecilio Dominguez leaves.
It has
That's
to
it.
be this
Nico
week.
Castillo's not coming. Benfica already said no. America's done negotiating with them. There's no way that that boat has sailed.
Hmm.
I promise you, I'm 100% sure at this point we're not getting a striker. That is a done deal. We're not gonna get a striker. If anything, we'll get a midfielder or a winger, and
That's
that's the
so.
best we're gonna have to do for this January transfer window.
And then next week we announce like three signings, and you're here like, well,
Three signing like, oh,
JK.
surprise.
But we'll have to see though. I mean, the plan is still getting two signings, the winger and the striker. Will it happen though? Like you keep saying, probably not.
You got 8 days, and if there's no headway within these next couple of days, then you might as well just call it an end.
Yeah,
Forget it.
but I would like to see at least one signing. That's for sure.
I'm pretty sure we'll get at least one, but I mean, we'll have to wait and see. All right, we'll dive away from the whole news bin about the transfer window, and we'll go back and we'll focus on the sport itself, on the team itself. And before we jump into the Pachuca game, why don't we talk a little bit about our ladies who walked away with a very crucial 3 points against Cruz Azul. So a clásico joven in the third jornada, second game for our ladies, and they walk away with 3 crucial points.
In the last minute too.
Phenomenal.
Oh my gosh. 90th minute goal to win it. And I'm just like, oh my goodness gracious.
Can you remind
Crazy.
everyone who scored that goal?
No, I cannot at the moment because I have to go look because I forgot.
Oh, see, I
Angela,
thought you
I'm
had it
looking right
on hand. But regardless of the fact, look, unfortunately, that game was not televised for us. I was really hoping they would, but it's just weird. Some of the rights that some of these ladies have, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was Alejandra. I don't know if I'm gonna say this right. I'm probably not, but I'm sorry. It's Curel Curiel. I know I'm saying that wrong.
Point is,
Point
they got the
is,
victory.
Yeah, the point
They
is you got the
the
goal. You got the 3 points for the ladies. That's all that matters.
And Dylan, who are they coming up against this week?
This week, if I'm not mistaken,
Puebla.
I thought yeah, Puebla. Okay. Yeah.
Wow. That a home or away?
It's tomorrow.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's tomorrow. I
gosh.
just can. I just can.
It's
I just can't
tomorrow.
remember if it's home or away.
Yeah, we're home.
They got a doble
Okay.
jornada that quick?
Hey man, there you go. It's gonna
Well,
be live.
It
I think
happens.
would it be televised?
no, because they got Copa MX. There's
No.
no way they're breaking
Yeah, but
their.
they don't play at night though. They play during the day. They play at 15,
Oh yeah.
45 hours.
Yeah, three
That's
forty five.
3:45.
3:45.
Nah,
I think
I
I
don't
think
expect them to.
you televised. I'm about to check right now. Actually, no, that I'm too lazy.
They wouldn't. I would expect them not to.
I
Really.
mean, in their Twitter, it says they have a little TV sign that says Univision TDN.
Oh yeah, that's in Mexico. That's a channel.
That's a Mexican channel.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Univision Televisa Deportes Network.
Oh, look at you.
Like I said, my uncle had like the Mexican dish for a while, so I was like, oh, subscribe all these channels. But
That's cool.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got to get that. But yeah, congratulations to the ladies. Their run of form looks like it's still going to fight back and to get a victory the way they did, especially against a rival like Cruz Azul. Regardless of the fact that what you want to say about the ladies department, a rivalry is still a rivalry, and for them to walk away with it, phenomenal. Especially in the last minute, that has to catapult them to keep going forward.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh
It
yeah.
does
It definitely
with the
has to.
confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ladies, we're gonna do our best to cheer you on, support you. Again, tomorrow, first thing you do when you go on your way to work or school, you are gonna do the hashtag Lady Aguilas. Let them know they're behind. Let them know we're behind them, and hopefully they can walk away with those 3 points against Puebla and keep cementing themselves on a very good run in what looks like it's gonna be a very tight race at the top.
Dylan, what place is America in?
If I'm not mistaken, we're second right now because we didn't have a first or nada.
And it's
kind of
crazy.
like by the week. Yeah, it's kind of like their bye week kind of thingy. I think they
Yeah.
have like two. I think they have like two in this season.
Nice.
If I'm not mistaken, but looking at the standings right now, second behind Pachuca, but we have a game in hand, obviously. So we say we have 6 points.
That game against Pachuca is gonna be so interesting. Whenever we do face up against them.
Oh man, I don't
Should
even
be
want to talk
exciting.
about that yet.
I hope it's televised.
Same here. I really hope they're televised as well.
Wait, Dylan.
Alrighty.
Oh, Dylan, Ivan, what was your plan to get the Mexican channels?
We were somehow gonna snuggle, smuggle in the dish. It's not that hard. People do it all the time.
So what's up?
If TSA is listening to me, I have no idea what I'm saying right now, but it will
They won't do anything.
well, it's easy. It's you just go down to Mexico, get the dish, install it. You have like your little box. Boom.
Well, that's pretty cool.
If you've ever had to install like your own satellite, like Spectrum or DirecTV or whatever the case, it's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
So
sounds cool.
We'll talk about that when we go down to Mexico.
I'm down.
And
when are we going, by the way? When are we going?
We'll have to wait and see. Probably sometime in the summer, if possible.
If possible, let's go to the final.
Well, that'd be perfect. Absolutely perfect. But we'll have to wait and see. Alrighty. Well, because everyone already noticed my slip up in the chat.
Yeah, thank you. I was just about to say that.
We are we're gonna move over and we're gonna stop talking about the ladies. Again, ladies, we love you. Keep going on your road, keep doing, keep performing, keep working hard. We're right behind you. It should be interesting to see how the season comes out for them. It looks like they're really pushing hard and pushing forward. So congratulations to keep striving, ladies. And then we're gonna transition over. Huh?
Oh, I said, what if we get the bicampeonato in both ladies and men?
Oh, that is a discussion we can have later on in the season. Right now, it's about gaining the points, getting the rhythm back, and looking like actual title contenders. Because the ladies at this point, I think they're starting to look like it. They just have to keep cementing themselves.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. We'll transition on now to the next segment of the podcast. As I already spilled it and tried my best to conceal it. It is
Unbelievable.
trivia time,
Yes.
my good friends. I am sorry for posting it. Don't worry. I'm not saying this is rigged or anything. I posted it on accident. I zoned out for 2 seconds, and then I noticed that I posted it, and I was like, oh no, let me unpost it. And by the time that happened, maybe one or two of you actually were able to,
Yeah,
answer.
two people already did it.
But don't worry. We are still gonna be giving you guys the opportunity to answer them right now. So Christian, take it away with today's trivia question.
No problem, Ivan. Can't believe you slipped it up. Unbelievable. Just a heads up, guys. If you answered any of the past three, the scoreboard is up on our Twitter. If you want to go and check that out, see how you're doing. But today's trivia question is: what is the highest placing Club America has gotten in a Copa Libertadores tournament?
Highest placing in a Copa Libertadores. That's actually a really good one. That's not easy. That doesn't just come right away like that.
I mean, it should if you're a diehard fan,
That's
Diehard
true.
fan, know
That's true.
everything. So, Dylan, what's the answer?
He's thinking.
He's thinking, or maybe there's some technical difficulties.
What? Are you talking to me?
Oh my God, he's not even paying attention.
It's all
No,
right,
because I was like, are they
this.
talking to me or are they talking to themselves? Like I kept like lagging on me.
Oh my gosh, is that school Wi-Fi again?
It is. I'm telling you.
All right, Christian, let's
why I was
answer
all
a
like-
question real quickly for the listeners right now. If they answered already, do they have to answer again?
No, I already have your answers already.
Okay, that is my bad. That's my apology. So Christian is gonna deduct points away from me, so you guys are gonna be fine. I think this puts me like at a -30, so that's not good.
It's all right.
How are we starting off the season right where we ended, Dylan?
What are you talking about? I haven't answered. I'm at 0 still. I'm doing better than you.
I should have never leaked out the question.
Yeah, honestly. But whatever. All right. Maybe you'll bounce back. Maybe not. Probably not.
I doubt it. At this point, I'm in a worse situation than Veracruz are.
Oh, Veracruz. Poor Veracruz.
That's to say something.
I don't know.
But you know what? The funny thing is, they never seem to die. They're always there. Even when they look at their worst, they somehow manage to survive.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they said that if they get relegated, that they would pay the money to stay up.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
So
With what money? It seems like with their double contracts.
I mean,
It's a mess over there. It's a real mess.
Yeah.
Somebody
Alrighty,
just buy it out. Clean house.
But yeah, that's today's
focus.
trivia, guys. Thank you guys for playing, as always.
As always, thank you guys, and make sure you guys do follow us on Twitter because we have giveaways and we have cool prizes and we have trivia on there as well.
Yes, trivia.
So
every
make sure
Friday.
you guys every Friday. So
Every Friday.
you know, it'd be so cool if somehow, some way, one of these days we could do live trivia, but in person. Like people in New York can go meet you in some place. We can have trivia night over there. People in LA can go meet me. And we can have trivia night there. And then people in Texas can go with Cowboy Dan and have trivia night right there. That'd be really cool.
I think everyone would love to go to Cowboy Dan.
I know, right? I think everyone would want to hear those trivia questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's the rootinest, tootinest America fan in Texas?
Ivan.
Obviously, it's not me.
Oh man.
But that'd be cool. That'd be for a day, for another
Hopefully.
day to discuss about this. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty cool. But for now, make sure you guys stick to it on Fridays. We have trivia night on there on Twitter, and of course, every time on the podcast, there's a trivia night. And who knows? Maybe we'll sneak in a late night edition of the Eagle Eye podcast where it's trivia alone.
Ooh,
That'd be cool. We'll have to wait and see.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Keep your eyes peeled. So that
Like a
should be
banana.
interesting. Yeah, like a banana.
I like bananas. You guys like bananas? I love bananas.
Nah, not my favorite. I'm more of an
Really?
apple person.
Apple.
I
Dylan.
like bananas, but every time I eat them, my lips start to like stink and like get scratchy. So like I might be allergic, but I still eat them.
You're like, I'm taking my chances here, but okay. Well, it looks like Dylan will We're
I
gonna
guess
have
I
to be
won't.
careful with
Yeah.
what we feed you.
I won't be giving you any bananas.
God.
Oh man.
I can't wait till the day we all
Alrighty.
go to Mexico and the Azteca. We're all just sitting there. That's gonna be a fun time.
It will. We should have a mini camera crew recording it.
We should.
I really mean like probably like a 5-year-old that we pay like like
Or we just get
40
one of
pesos.
these beautiful people from the chat to come with us.
An Eagle Eye podcast experience.
There you go. And then we rent out a suite and we do the podcast from the suite live from the Estadio Azteca.
That'd be cool.
One
That'd
day.
be cool.
One
We'll
day.
get there one day.
One
We'll
day.
get there one day. Alrighty, gentlemen. Make sure you guys go and answer your trivia question. And now we move on to the next segment. A segment we would all want to maybe be a little bit happy about. These two gentlemen are pretty happy with the performance that was on against Pachuca. I have a couple of negatives. I actually feel like
there's
I'm
always
the person
negatives.
feel like I'm the person that always starts negative, and we just kind of follow along. I need to find new perspective in life, but the way I see it is we had a pretty good performance against Pachuca. Could have been better. There was times where we gave Pachuca the ball where I feel like we could have taken advantage of it. And on top of that, I feel like this game would have been a washout by 4 or 5 goals if we actually had on our shooting boots a little bit more, refined. But we'll get all into that discussion right now. Let's break it down. America versus Pachuca last Saturday in the Estadio Azteca, the home opener, and we wore those beautiful orange jerseys. Whether or not you like them or not, they're here to stay.
Listen, honest question in the chat right now. Do you guys like the jerseys? Because it's kind of going on me, to be honest. I mean, I ordered mine already, so I'm going to have it either way because I buy every jersey. But I want to know if you guys like it and if you guys would buy it.
Look, I feel like we look like a Fanta bottle. It's just a whole bunch of Fantas running on the pitch.
That's fine. Or like Jaritos.
There you go. Coke should have been inventive. They should have brought out like a orange can with an America logo. That'd have been cool. Now, of course, it was a tribute to El Chanfle, the great America fan that played Chespirito in all the characters, Chavo del Ocho. The list goes on and on and on, but you guys already know who he is. Huge America fan.
Huge.
I remember there was a game. It was an America versus Chivas, and Televisa invited him to be an announcer for that game. It was in 2006, I want to say. It was in 2006, and he was, it was kind of this big event. It's America versus Chivas. You got Chespirito on. And he was there. He was commentating, and you heard the passion, the excitement whenever America got close. America actually ended up winning that game, which all had a very phenomenal game, and America won that game without Cuauhtemoc Blanco, which was kind of a huge kind of like, oh my gosh, it was Bofo at his prime. It was everyone said he was going to tear America apart, and then it was Cuauhtemoc Blanco, who obviously was Cuauhtemoc Blanco at that point, but was not in that game. I think he was injured. So it was this narrative that America had every right to lose against Chivas because Chivas was in a good form. And so the game was going on. You had Chespirito there commentating. They would ask him questions. He'd get riled up every time America got close to scoring. And then Germán Villa scores the only goal in that game. The only goal in that game. Germán Villa ends up scoring that goal. And he just goes crazy. He goes crazy screaming the goal on live television. He's like, goal. He's like, yes, this and that. And he felt the colors, he felt the passion, he felt the club, and he knew what it was. He knew what it represented to be an Americanista. He knew what the club represented in Mexico and to the world. And so he loved the club just as much as the club loves him. And it's a beautiful tribute to have this iconic jersey in his honor. To commemorate everything that he did, not only for a community in sports, but for a community all across the Mexican board, which I know a lot of us grew up kind of seeing that. A lot of our parents grew up actually when that was going on, and so that's a very beautiful memory and a way for the club to kind of honor him. So the jersey, whether you like it or not, the color scheme, whatever it may be, the message behind it, what it stands for, I think that's the real beauty of it. And I think that's why I think I like this jersey so much, because it because I have that specific memory of him being such a huge Americanista fan in the Clásico, in where it looked like all odds were against us, and he was there to witness us and comment that it was phenomenal to have that moment, and will stick with me for the rest of my life. And I know he inspired many more with so many other stories as well. So it was tremendous, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. And actually, a very rare jersey, if I'm not mistaken. Only about 40 something were printed.
I don't know the exact number, but yes, there was a limited. This is a limited time jersey. Yes,
should be interesting to see. Very interesting to see. But back to the game. America goes up against Pachuca, home opener. We're expecting a pretty good matchup. We're expecting a lot of back and forth, and we got a little bit of it, but we didn't expect America to walk away with 3 points so easily. At some points of the match, Pachuca did trouble us, but I would dare to say that America had the game under control throughout most of the 90 minutes, if I do say so.
They did. I think they played very as a team. I don't think. I think for me, it's been a little while, maybe because I haven't seen them play in a while. But like this, like what they did on Saturday, but they played like kind of as a team. Like they had a style of play. They knew the idea going forward. They knew how to defend as a team. It was honestly beautiful to watch that this team finally gets this the sense of style of play that me and you, Ivan, have been asking for.
Yeah, completely. Dylan, give me your takeaway. 90 minutes go. America gets 3-0. You watching this game? How you feeling?
Uh-oh.
Oh no, the school Wi-Fi hits again. All right, well, I'll give my
good.
Oh no.
I like the performance. I feel like we died down a little bit as the game goes on.
Oh my god, I've never heard him. Either he's actually doing really slow-mo analyst, or his Wi-Fi is just he's gone.
He's gone. Okay, so
Cowboy Dan has officially left the building for right now. He will come back on. He'll have that sorted out with our IT department. But we'll give this much. I'll give this much to say. Pretty good performance. Solid in regards to the fact that the players that we had out there on the pitch, I think, really demonstrated what they were capable of. Again, there was a couple of players that kind of felt like could have done more, should have done more.
Clemente,
for example, Clemente,
yes,
gets taken out in the first half. I think is perfect, and I think it's the right message to send to the kid. At this stage, you're playing for America. Not just that, but you're playing for a team that just became champions not that long ago. So you have a responsibility to step up and showcase. And if you can't control a ball within 45 minutes, then of course you're out. Whether it was nerves, whatever it was, he's got to grow from that.
He has to, yes. And people saying that he's not a winger, you're right, he's not a winger. But if you're put in that position, at least try your best. I mean, I think it was 2 times where he got past a defender. The rest, he couldn't even get past a defender and couldn't even control the ball, like you were saying. And it was hard to watch, but kind of felt bad for the kid though, because everyone on Twitter was beating up on him.
Really, I thought I was the only one. I didn't really see anything.
No, I saw
bashing him.
A lot of people get this guy out. Like this kid is not ready. Don't put him in. He's not starter material. Where's Antonio Lopez? So I mean, he's still a kid, yes, but I mean, control the ball at least, like you're saying.
Yep. Who would imagine on for him would be our savior and our hero for that match?
I saw him come in, and I don't know. I had a weird feeling when he came on.
It looks like he came on with a certain determination. And it showcased right away.
He's always came in with the determination. It's just whether or not he can show it on the field. And lucky for him, Saturday was his night.
Lucky for him, Pachuca's defense was a mess in the opening minutes of the second half. And completely messed.
That's when we capitalized.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see.
Hey, Dylan.
I mean, Dylan's back.
He's not. No, he's not. He's frozen. Look at him.
Oh my God, he looks like he's staring into your soul and saying, "I question every bit of aspect of your Americanismo. Are you really an American?" Oh no, he's moving. Never mind.
Is he? Barely.
Yeah, he's moving a little bit. All right, going back. going back to this San Runde case,
Mhm.
we'll talk a little bit more about it in perspective. It's just he was different, he was much different, and we'll go on into detail about that. But it's good to see him come in and do the work. Now I
Yeah,
hear Dylan in the background. Dylan, are you completely with us? How's the Wi-Fi situation going?
he's not there.
I mean,
He's
it
not
just
there.
doesn't seem like it's his
No,
night.
not there. And interesting to say, he came in and we saw Pachuca play with the back five, and it was
When he
impressive.
came in, they switched to a back four, right?
It's just the back four, did they?
No, that was when they were down 2 goals. Never mind.
I think that's when they were down 2 goals, and then that's when they brought in Cardona.
Yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes.
So after we scored, so it was pretty impressive to see him just come in, break that back five, and then assist Henry. So yeah, he played well, better than I guess anyone will have ever dreamed of this guy playing for America. And yes, we beat him a lot. Yes, he's a meme to us. I'm guessing he's still a meme. He will forever be a meme to us. But we got to give credit where credit's due. He played. He was the best player that night.
And we'll go a little bit more into context of what it was and everything. But um, let's just talk about the game in general as a whole, and then we'll focus a little bit more on player
Okay.
on player performances. Now, I see our good friend Luis saying, "I thought America did great, but then again, who am I?" And that's exactly what I'm saying at this point. You guys, I'm saying the opposite. I think America did fairly well, but again, who am I to say that? You know, what I saw on the pitch was a team that was learning how to play with each other, that looked like they knew how to play with each other, but at moments of the game just switched off a bit here and there, you know? Now, granted, I am giving it, I'm not saying it was a bad game. I'm not saying this was terrible. I'm just saying it looked like that in that aspect. I'm not saying it's bad either, because at the end of the day, it's only your second game back, you know?
Right.
Granted, in regards to these other teams who have 3 games under their back.
Mhm.
Now, there's this theory that is said that within 5 games of the opening season, your team should have at least an idea of how to play and what they're playing for.
Right.
America looks like they can have this within the next game against Monterrey,
And it's
but then
good.
again, we'll have to wait and see.
And that's,
Yes, it's
yeah,
good.
it's good that you
It's
say that
perfectly
because
good.
last season, for most of the season, we didn't have an idea how to play, a style of playing. Or the only tactic we had, like I kept repeating, was you pass it to the nothing and then let him do whatever, But in this game, you kind of saw a little bit, play down the middle. You actually saw a little bit going to Clemente when we tried to give him the ball, but he couldn't produce. So then we just kept going back to Ibarra. But yeah, I like it though. I like that this team's finally getting a style of play like we always wanted. I think that's what we need if we're gonna fight for this big campeonato.
Yeah, completely. Dylan, you're back,
Especially if we don't get any new signings.
which is true. You're gonna
Because
need
yes,
this team chemistry to be at 100 if
that's
that's the
exactly
case.
what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, Dylan, you're back. I see that you're that you got everything going. How was the trip?
What trip? You know this damn school Wi-Fi. I don't want to talk about it right now.
Are you on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
It looks amazing.
Yeah,
That's
you
how
look
bad.
cute.
That's how bad it is. Thank you.
All right, Dylan. So I'll give you back the question that I gave you at first when you kind of just fell off. 90 minutes are up 3-0. What's your take about this on this game? How did you see America?
No, I thought it was a good game. I really thought it was. At the end of the day, I talked about in the last podcast, scraping off some of the coleslaw off the barbecue sandwich, and that's what they did. They scraped off some of the coleslaw, and I respect that. Just towards the end of the 90 minutes, I felt like they kind of let Pachuca try to get back into the game, which Pachuca kind of sort of did. But let's be honest, it was a dispirited or unorganized Pachuca team, which at the end of the day, that's what it was. So we didn't really play those full 90 minutes to the highest level like we did about what can we say, like the first 20 to 30 minutes like we did, really controlling the game and everything.
Mhm.
But that's just how I feel. It was a good game overall. We're 2 games in. We've seen it really turn around after one game. Now let's just see if we could do this going forward and be more consistent.
Would you guys agree for about 75% of the match we were very good defensively?
I think we were good. I think want to raise that number, maybe 90%. Because if you remember last podcast, I had mentioned that Pachuca's win over Querétaro, I think it was. Pachuca managed 28 shots. They only managed 8 shots against us. And that's what I said last week. If we wanted a chance to win this, we needed to condense that, and we condensed that a lot. And I think that was a key factor playing into this victory.
Dylan, what do you say? 75 or 90%?
I have to go Christian. I give it about 90. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty darn close to being at 100%, if I'm gonna be honest. But just like Christian said, we condensed down their shots a lot too. It's starting to step up a little bit. It's starting to see a little bit more crisp. And I go back to my reference, scraping off the coleslaw. It was good, and we're seeing the coleslaw start getting more and more wiped off the sandwich.
Interesting. Am I the only one who's really being strict about this game? I feel like I'm being really strict on this performance, but I will say this though: I fairly enjoyed it.
You're always strict.
Yeah, you're always strict. So that's.
Well, I feel like I have to. I feel like you have to uphold the standard in the sense, but I will give credit where credit is due, and I think the game played out to a T in regards to America. Because I will say this defensively, there was a point in the game where I was blown away with how good we were defensively. There was a point in the match, I don't remember what minute it was second half. Pachuca had the ball probably in our final third, right?
Yeah.
We somehow managed to push them all the way back to their own half with just covering space. Never once really pressed them that high or anything. They had no opening, so they had to touch back and keep touching back and keep touching back, and we pushed them all the way back to their own half. I was blown away with how good our defense was at that point. Phenomenally blown away with how good it was, and that gave me a sense that okay, defensively it looks like we know what we're doing.
Yeah, and it's good that you have this back four that's getting to know each other well, and this is the ones that's gonna carry you to throughout the whole season.
And it was interesting to see that it starts off with your midfielders. And I'm not talking just your center midfielders. I'm talking about your wingers. It started with Renato pressing back from Guido to Edson. It was a perfect example of how to defend.
Definitely. I think that's one thing Clemente did do well. He did track back a lot. And that helped Jorge Sanchez, yes, in some occasions.
Who by the way had a good game. Had a much better game.
I liked him. I think he was pretty good.
He was making some good runs. He was making some good passes. He was a bit short, a couple of things here and there. Yeah. I think he overall well-rounded game for him. I mean, what more can we say about Marchesín coming up with a huge save to keep that clean sheet? And I think that was important. I think it was important for America to walk away with that clean sheet,
A home opener in front of your fans, first time seeing you guys as champions, it's a good motivator.
And it wasn't the best entrance either. And I don't expect tomorrow's entrance to be good at all. The most 5,000 people at the most. I'm not stretching.
We're about to have a Cruz Azul entrance tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, I understand the excuse of the gasoline and all that, but what they did though, that was embarrassing. And I really hope we don't do that tomorrow, because that was very embarrassing.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
We better be fine.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
That was bad.
Okay, well, we'll take that away. Good performance. Anyone who stood out to you besides Clemente, who you thought, man, you're not giving me everything?
Probably Peralta. I mean, but
yeah,
at this point, but we know what to expect from him already.
And I was gonna tweet this, but I said no. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna save it for the podcast. And it's exactly what I mentioned last week. He goes off. People are clapping him. People are giving him this round of applause. Why though? What did he do in that game that you thought, oh my gosh, yes?
He didn't do anything, to be honest. He was just running around, in my opinion, at least, or from what I saw.
His one shot off goal.
I mean, I think people just kind of get this kind of figura legend status already pasted on him, and like that feeling that it's his last season already, so they're gonna applaud him whenever they can.
I don't know. I just feel like, again, we're lowering the bar for Peralta. We're okay with that, and we're conforming to that. When actually we should still be exceeding from him. We should still be asking more from him,
especially if there's no striker coming in.
Exactly, and especially if he's our captain. I want to see more from our captain.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, that's all I can say. That's all I can say. But we'll have to wait and see. Now we'll focus a little bit more on the positive side here. What players stood out to you? And we'll have Insarude will have his own little segment right now. We're coming up after this. But besides Insarude, who sticks out?
Let me. Where's my nail filer? I'm trying to look for that real quick so I can get on my Henry Martin hype train. Let's go. Y'all not gonna take that away from me. Neither one of y'all. Where's my
I'm gonna do it right now. Actually, I think it was the same thing against Necaxa, where he scored the goal and he didn't do anything. I think that was kind of like this. I really didn't see much from him until that goal.
I will say this, Dylan.
But he did play better than Oribe. He did play better. He did play better than Oribe, though. He did play better than Oribe, though. I will give you that.
Where's the assist credit for my man? Where's the assist credit for my man?
It was
you're right.
Tremendous assist, by the way.
You're right.
Tremendous. Okay, look. I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate with the both of you. I didn't like how Henry was quiet for most of the game, but I do like this Henry Martin switching to this new poacher position.
He's becoming a Chicharito.
But who's to say we don't need that?
I mean, if he gets the goals, he gets the goals, right? But I don't know. I just feel like he has so much more potential to do more, but he's a ghost. And then, I guess people just forget that when he scores a goal.
And that's okay with me. As long as he's scoring.
Okay okay.
And it's okay with me as long as he's not doing something ridiculous.
No, wait. Okay, just trying to wonder. Just wondering. Well, what's this with you being okay with Henry just like, oh, let me be quiet for 60 minutes of the game, and then bam, come score a goal. But then you're over here all on Oribe. Like just curiosity.
Because Henry's bagging the goals. If Oribe Peralta was doing the same thing, I'd be okay with it. If he's giving me something to go off of, then yeah, that's fine. But he's not. And Henry, I like Henry because he's playing a quiet role. I'm not saying he's not doing anything. I'm saying he's playing a quiet role in the sense that he's running into spaces. Sometimes they don't acknowledge his runs. He's moving around. He's creating chances. He's playing off his midfielders. He's getting in the box. He's trying to get himself open. In these past couple of games, Atlas, Necaxa, and Pachuca, I've seen him make some very good runs. I've seen him make some very good movements in the box. I've just seen that his team hasn't acknowledged him that well. And I will say also this about Henry is if he's scoring, he's happy. If he's happy, he looks like he's even more motivated to do more on the pitch. There hasn't been a moment where I'm like, God damn it, Henry, can't you control a single ball? There's been times in last season when he couldn't even do that right. And now he's able to receive it. He's able to play off of it. He's doing things. He's doing the small things that matter right. Very little is he doing them wrong.
I'll tell you this much. He still hasn't won me over. He's doing it little by little, though, because he is scoring, and we do need that from our strikers. Little by little, he's doing it. But if he puts up a performance against a really good Monterrey on Saturday, I can.
Then he's got you beat.
I'm hyping on the hype train with you, Dylan. Only if he has a good performance, though. If he's a ghost still and scores a goal, I don't know if I'll hype on the train yet, but it'll still keep me warming up a little bit.
I'll say this much. I'm not on the hype train like Dylan, nor am I in the standby with you.
I'm in the middle too, but I'm in the middle though.
I'm just saying he's doing his job, and keep on doing it. That's what you're getting paid for. That's it. If you can convince me to be on that hype train alongside with the conductor Cowboy Dan, then I'm all for it.
Now let me get you guys here with this one. Roger Martinez. He could see minutes on Saturday. Let's just say he takes out Henry.
That's what you expect. That's what you expect. I mean, let's be honest. It's been like that for a long time.
Because I can assure you this much: if the game is going how we predict it to go, and we'll talk about that right now when we preview the Monterrey game. If the game is going, I promise you this change. I promise you, Oribe Peralta comes off for Mateus Uribe, and Henry Martin comes off for Roger Martinez. Those are at least two given two given substitutions for
Isn't it
Saturday.
crazy how Uribe isn't the starter? Like you guys
And we'll
don't
talk about
expect
that.
you guys don't expect Uribe to start, and even though he's ready,
And we'll talk about that.
it's
And we'll talk
crazy, don't you
about
think
that in the
though?
Monterrey game. It is, but you got to give credit where credit is due, like we
Oh
keep
no,
saying.
definitely, yeah. I mean the
And Edson's
midfielding
taking that
pair.
spot.
Yeah, that's what I was going at. The midfielding pair of Guido and Edson, it's working for us. It's a blessing, to be honest. Like these two just understand each other so well. Like last season, I said that Guido, prefers to play alone, but I think he found like his a perfect partner to play alongside because he isn't kind of smart enough already to know. Okay, listen, I need to backtrack a little bit. Okay, I'll push up a little bit more here. You cover that spot. Like they understand each other so well, and it's working for us. So like, where do you even slot Uribe?
We'll talk about that. We'll talk because it's an interesting conversation and something I was gonna say on Twitter. Where you're like, save it for the pod, and then we'll talk about that right now. But our good friend Carlos Diaz says we have such a high expectation on how we want our strikers to play. I think results and tactics speak way louder. We have in our minds an exact striker, and Uribe and Henry just don't get that kind of chance, and they don't fit that box. They don't fit that system. But he's right. They're producing. They're giving us. So at least Henry is. I think Oliver can do a little bit more. And maybe that's the thing. He's not, like you're saying, Christian. He's not flashy. He's quiet for most of the game. He's not really on the ball the way we want him to. But I think Dylan, you can appreciate this just as much as I can. Is the fact that if you kind of focus on him throughout the game, he's doing the little things right. He's doing little subtle things correct in cases where maybe 2-3 months ago he wasn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with that too.
So it's Henry who's kind of the star right now, and we don't acknowledge it because maybe he doesn't fit in the box that we want him to as this kind of star striker who's going to give us 10 goals per season. But he could easily do that.
But
alongside,
wasn't this a narrative last season though when we saw Uribe Peralta start scoring goals?
Yes.
This is the same narrative. The same exact star. We thought, okay, we have our striker. Finally, he's producing. After the 6-4, now he didn't score.
Exactly, but that's where we're going to with everything that we've been saying time and time again.
And that's why I'm not hopping on the hype train yet, because I feel like this is going to be one of those moments again, especially with Roger Martinez and Piojo knowing how they work. Every time Henry's not hasn't scored or is not playing well, he's going to take him off, and then Roger's going to go in.
We'll have to wait and see.
So Henry won't get that full 90 like he's been wanting and he's been getting.
I'm content with what he's doing. He's doing his job. And whether or not we finally start a hype train, like remember when he just signed last January, a year ago, and we were hyping him up after having 5 goals.
And then who came along?
That was
yeah.
Exactly. I'll leave it there. But that's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, you make a perfect.
And then who's here now? Who's here now too? Even though we have the same complaints, but
yeah. And you know what the funny thing is, though? You could easily have a repeat of that this year. Same story. Because who's coming back?
Exactly.
Yeah, Daddy.
We'll leave it at that. We'll talk about it after the Super Bowl because that's when he's supposed to be coming back. So 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks from now, we'll have to
French fries coming back.
We'll have to see what our little Frenchman has in store for us. But now we'll stray away from that. And now let's talk a little bit about the man of the hour, Mr. Christian Insanrulde, who I had no idea how to even spell his name. That I think I tweeted out.
Listen, yeah. It was funny though.
Should we just give him a nickname?
No.
Like Insa.
Could be. Insa. Yeah.
Insa. Profe Insa.
Yeah. Profe Insa.
Yeah, it's easier. You just tweet it out, Insa scores another goal, something like that. And it was nice to see him kind of get this monkey off his back, no?
Just the emotions that he had and probably everything that has been lifted, like he got very emotional after after he assisted, he got emotional. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, right? After he assisted, he got emotional. And then obviously when he scored, you saw the whole team go to him, and I think that was a nice gesture, I think the team knows and is aware of like the memes going around about him, he's getting a lot of...
I'm pretty sure they're the ones trolling him at.
Probably, most likely, yeah. So, all the flack he's getting, and it was nice to see the whole team just come together and support him in this moment.
Someone said that his nickname, Chicken Biscuit said his nickname should be Christ.
Why not? Why not? If he would have scored that scissor kick goal,
Oh, that would have been tremendous.
I think the
Dylan,
whole community would have exploded.
right? I think Twitter would have broke. Literally, I assure you, Twitter would have broke.
Most likely, yes, definitely.
Dylan, what's your take on Insa and his performance?
Very good performance. For somebody that gets trolled a lot. I know we kind of talked about him. I think if I remember correctly, he only got 33 minutes the whole apertura, which not a very long time. But he had his first game too against Atlas this season. Didn't really see much, and then we just comes out with a bang, just like it just really says something about him. To me, it does. It shows that he loves the game. He's passionate about the game. I don't know if he feels the colors because I haven't seen him play enough to really feel the colors. But at the end of the day, he came out, proved a lot of people wrong. Even though there's a lot of trolls still, but it was just good overall.
Definitely. And going back to an earlier comment that we had here on the chat, our good friend Carlos Diaz again saying this whole Insa rule deck, or Insa as we like to call him here at the Iguay podcast, this whole case of him reminds him of the time when it was trending hashtag todo es culpa de la
Layun. Yeah, it could be something similar. That's what me and my dad were talking about too. Like he was like, "Watch this be a whole another Layun case." I said it could be, but
what are the chances, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but there's a lot of similarities in that sense. There's a lot of things that kind of coincide with those kind of stories. Two players that were sought out to be kind of the scapegoats of the team, and whenever things turned bad or whenever things didn't go well, it was always them who kind of took the blame for it. And that's no easy thing to take. Now, remind yourselves that we're only human, and when you have millions of people tweeting at you and you hear this time and time again, it affects you. And the perfect example is Miguel Ayun. There was points where even on the streets he couldn't show himself because everything was his fault, and people actually took that to heart sometimes. I think there was times where he got spat on. It was terrible. It's terrible to the point where he had to go see a sports psychologist. And it was kind of and maybe to this day, maybe it's still a little bit of a taboo in the industry, but he had to go see a sports psychologist, and he worked with him, and then he worked on himself, and he worked on his game, and voila, you have what is today Miguel Ayun. So who knows? Maybe there's some similarity within this Cristian Zarrulde that we may get the best out of him, but at the same time, as I'm saying that, he could easily be leaving the club within a month.
Yeah, because there's rumors of him going to Newell's Old Boys.
Yeah, Newell's Boys, or whatever the team is called in Argentina.
Yeah. So but Piojo has said though, and he's backed him. He said, as long as I have him, I'm gonna use him.
Yeah.
Same case with Cecilio.
Yep. Which is funny enough that he wasn't even on the bench for that game.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, we still have him here. Something's going on. We don't know the full story, but it looks like Independiente doesn't want to pay up just yet.
But we'll see.
We'll have to wait and see. Well, I think that does it for the Pachuca game. Anything else you guys want to say about that game?
Just a good game. I don't know if you guys saw his interview after the game. He got emotional there too, in Zaralde. He's been through a lot, it seems, and I think this game was like the perfect night for him. Kind of get, like you said, everything off his back. Stress relieved. He just seems happy right now, and hopefully he continues his good performances, because you never know, he could be the next super sub for us.
Completely could be the next super sub, and it would be phenomenal to see him actually take on that role.
Yep.
So Dylan, anything else you want to say?
No, I think we covered it all. Got my Henry spot in, so that's all I got to say.
We'll see whether or not he can continue that, because coming up is a very, very strong game. Now we'll move on into the last segment of the podcast, in which we talk about the big game, Monterrey versus America. I think it would be the real test so far in this league, in this season. Away at Pachuca, against a very good Pachuca at this point, it's looking like it's gonna be a tough matchup.
Monterrey.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Well,
yes, Monterrey.
wait.
I
I was
was
like,
like,
wait,
what?
wait,
Which
wait, wait.
one?
My bad, my bad. But
Mhm.
yes, Monterrey. It looks like it's gonna be a really, really tough matchup. And the worst part is you're away at Monterrey. And to quote someone, uh, America has still yet to win in Monterrey's new stadium. So shout out
That's
to Mr. Chicken Nugget there
yeah,
for bringing
beautiful
that
stadium.
topic up. It is a nice stadium.
It's beautiful.
I don't know about beautiful, but it's nice. It's nice. And it would be nice to see America play in that stadium and win. That would
No,
make it
definitely.
beautiful.
I think we have all the right components. It's just whether or not we can mesh like we did on Saturday, which I think we can. I'm feeling kind of confident about this game. I think
Are
we
you?
match up against Pachuca very well.
Because
Monterrey. You got me there.
see, it's not that easy. Because we're walking into a game in which Monterrey has come up against Querétaro and beat them, León at home and drew, but yet washed Pachuca out,
Mhm.
and also
They were home. They were home.
yeah. So what could we expect?
A lot of back and forth, that's for sure. You have their front four, and it's very scary. You have Funes Mori to lead them in attack. You have Pabon and Jesus Gallardo kind of on the wings, and you have Hurtado behind Funes Mori, and it makes for a deadly combination on the counterattacks, and we need to be careful with that. I think this is where you have that, you know, the Guido and Edson chemistry. Like, okay, listen, we have to be on our toes for these people, for this team, because at any given moment they get a counterattack and they can quickly score on you, and it's so fast how they do it.
Yeah. Obviously, their attacking threat is ridiculous with the likes of Funes Mori, Pabon, um, their new signing.
The new signing, Maxime Mesa, that was a golazo he scored.
I don't know if it was a golazo. It
That
was
was
a
a golazo.
goal. It was
That
a
was a
good
golazo.
goal. I
Chat,
don't
please.
know. I think
Chat.
I think Volpe saves it. Just saying.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
think Volpe saves it.
I think Volpe
That's
saves it
not a
too, but
golazo. A golazo for me is a goal that is unstoppable, unsavable by any goalkeeper.
like in Soraldo's goal.
I don't know. I think Nori gets a hand to that. But that's only because Nori has, pretty long arms.
Yeah.
Aviles Hurtado too. So they have
Yeah.
plenty of attacking threat,
Definitely.
which is why it was nice to see America very solid against Pachuca, because it's going to be a real test of that backline this upcoming Saturday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now the question stands whether or not can we go into the new tech and walk away with all 3 points, because I would assume that that's the result we're looking for, and that is the result we're expecting. Because if America walks away with a draw, are we content with that?
Depends on how we played.
Yeah, I think I would say that if we looked like we had an idea of play and just the ball wouldn't go in, then I could be content with the job. But if it looks like Monterrey is really dominated the game and we kind of just scraped by, then it kind of raises a little bit of flags here and there.
I would say that if America draws against Monterrey, there might be a bit of a backlash on Twitter from the fans. There might be.
But there always is, though. Every time we
Yeah.
don't win, there's a backlash.
Yeah. But like you said, we're gonna have to wait and see how the team plays in order to start criticizing exactly. We'll have to wait and see. We'll really have to wait and see. But we talked a little bit about Monterrey. Now let's focus on our boys. Let's talk about the game itself, the tactics. What does this team need to do to walk away with the 3 points? Because I think that's what we want, right?
Mhm.
I don't think we're settling with a draw. We'd much rather get the victory. I much certainly see it in that sense that a draw is still gonna be bittersweet to me. But
That
like
makes sense.
in a sense, that's what I'm hoping the boys are looking at it as well.
Mhm.
So let's do it. Let's break it down as always. Give me your starting 11, and from there on, we'll go and we'll talk about how these boys should approach the game. So I'll throw it to you, Christian. Go.
Hi. Okay. What's so funny here, Dylan?
I don't because you're just like hi.
All right, so I'll have Marchesín in net, Jorge Sanchez, Emmanuel Aguilera, Bruno Valdez, Pablo Aguilar, Renato Ibarra, Edson Alvarez, Guido, Tony Lopez,
Okay,
and then I'll have Henry and Oribe Peralta.
interesting.
So basically the same
Intellect.
lineup, just you switch out Clemente and Tony Lopez.
Okay, Dylan, anything you want to change on that?
I mean, you kind of look at it, and unless somehow he throws Cecilio in there, but that's the strongest you got.
Yeah,
I don't think so, though.
I would argue
I
Cecilio
don't think
starts
so.
this game.
you think so? I just write him off already, honestly. Even though he's trained, he wasn't trained today with the boys, but I don't know. I'm just writing him off already.
We'll have to wait and see. Would it
Yeah,
be surprising to see Insalrulde on the left hand side?
I mean, I don't think he starts.
But would you be shocked, or does he deserve a start at all?
No, I would be shocked. He doesn't deserve a start. Listen,
Dylan?
he had one amazing game. It's not going to change my mind about him just yet.
Well, I mean, it's Piojo. I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised, to be honest.
Well, I mean, perfectly said. I think. I mean,
it's the honest truth. I mean, how many times have we sit here and probably gave the most logic lineup, but Piojo always just like somehow listens, is like, nope, we're gonna do this, and just like flips a 180 on us.
I'm surprised. Yep, completely surprised there. Um, okay, so we can all agree that's most likely going to be the lineup.
Yeah. Key players leaving out, obviously, Mateo Uribe and Roger Martinez.
And we'll talk about that. You know what? Let's get into that discussion right now, since we're talking about the lineup. Now, a lot of people and a lot of people I've seen on Twitter are saying how crazy Mateo Uribe has lost his spot. Edson Alvarez is there. There's no way you can take him out. There's no way Mateo Uribe fits in the squad.
There is.
That is completely wrong, because I think we saw the best of Mateo Uribe before he picked up that injury.
Yes,
playing in that cam spot.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yes, it's just so hard though.
No, I mentioned this on Twitter. People want to fit these two players in the same category. They're not. They're two different players that play two different things, that give two different that play two different roles for America. One is more offensive than the other. You know, one has more of a tactical sense of where the pitch is and how the defense runs than the other one. It's two players who have a different mindset on how to play the game, and they're two very talented players. Look, you can field a lineup with these players still on the same team. I would say Oribe Peralta would probably be the one that gets dropped in the meantime. You know, that camp position spot is going to be open for a lot of heavy contenders.
Yeah.
You have Oribe Peralta, who's playing there right now. You have Menes, who's coming back. You have Mateo Uribe, who can play that position. You have competition. And that's the best thing about it, is you're going to hopefully see the best out of these players when they get the opportunity to go out there and prove themselves, to try to contain this position and to call it their own. I think Edson, for the meantime, and as long as he doesn't do something stupid, and I'll knock on wood for that, he's staying in that midfield role with Guido Rodriguez.
It just flourishes, you know. They just connect so well with each other, and especially for this game, they're gonna need to be on their best because, like I said before, Monterrey is very good on the counterattacks. They're very dangerous when they have the ball and they're going fast. And like you said, they kind of seem to have a good idea on how to read the pitch and how the play will go down. So they're gonna be very key in this match.
Yeah. Dylan, your takes on Mateo Uribe not featuring at all in our predicted lineup, and most likely won't feature on Saturday in the starting 11.
No, I mean you put it perfectly too. I mean they're two different types of players, and I think at this point, I think Piojo sees that out. I think he's gonna want to keep that partnership between Edson and Guido flourishing because I think that if you know me, the most I said a lot on here, the midfield to me is going to be key in a match, no matter what, no matter who you're going to play, and that's what it's going to come down to whenever we see Monterrey on those counterattacks. Edson's got to be there to cut out the passing lane, cover this one spot, and Guido's got to be in his spot too, covering that one spot and cutting out those passing lanes. And so it's going to be important in that aspect of the pitch. When Mateo Uribe, he could be pushing up and be on the edge of the box, and he's left out, leaving Guido to dry a little bit. I mean, let's just be a little honest. Even though we've said that Guido Rodriguez can do work up to holding midfielders, I mean, at this point, how much can you take of that? Can you last the full 90 minutes and do that without doing something stupid, maybe?
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree with you on that aspect. And there will be a very crucial battle again, the midfielder, our wingers as well. But I'm looking at our strikers really, um, whether or not they're capable of putting the ball in the back of the net. But the most important game is definitely going to be our defense.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Mm-hmm. It
You know,
has to
how
be.
solid are we going to be there? How much faith are we putting in Emmanuel Aguilera in this game? How much faith are we putting into George Sanchez to perform to the highest level that he can without, coming up with a hiccup here and there? Because a hiccup here and there can cost you a goal. So it's gonna be a very tight game, and I think they're gonna have to help and play off each other whenever they can. Marche is gonna have a pretty important matchup. It's gonna be in a game where everyone's gonna get tested, but at most you're
Mhm.
gonna have to see a very solid America in the back.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like,
All around.
Yeah, I agree. We'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. So, well, I think we said it when America starts off games pressing and keeping the opposing team on their toes and disrupts their play is when we see America control a good game. And in an away game, what do we expect them or what should this team do in order to walk away with 3 points?
I think we should play the ball to the wings more. I know I criticize this a lot because that's what we do, but I think for this game, I think we should play it to the wings more often. Only because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Monterrey's left back got a
Mm-hmm.
red card the last game,
Yeah.
and I think for me, I think he's probably one of their best defenders. So if you expose that side a lot consistently, which is the left side, Renato Ibarra side. So I think if you play the ball through him a lot and you let him kind of flourish, have his creative process, I think that's where you kind of catch Monterrey off their toes a little bit.
Okay, so exposed weaknesses that we've seen, and we've seen Monterrey have a bit of weaknesses here and there. I mean, the game they had against Leon, they were up 2-0 and still managed to end up drawing that game 2-2.
Yeah,
So
they get a
they're
little
not
bit lazy
invincible.
on the defense.
Yeah, they're not invincible, and by any means they're not unbeatable. I think in the sense, America just needs to be a bit perseverance when they're going forward. Be smart about it. Play
Yeah.
the simple game, and that's something we said time and time again. And they've done it from time to time. And whenever they do, you've seen some of the best football that America plays, keeping it simple, moving the ball around, doing 1-2 passes, playing the wall, and trying to beat the defenders.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to see some of the runs that Henry's going to have to make, some of the runs that Oribe Peralta makes, more towards checking in. Henry more trying to draw some of the defenders away, opening some space. And it's whether or not Edson Alvarez can run in the way he kind of ran into those spaces against Cruz Azul. And look, if you have the chance, shoot, even if it's from outside the box, take it. Be a bit adventurous with your shots. I've always said this. Look, if you're gonna shoot from far away, at least aim towards the goalkeeper and
At least on target.
hopefully see something happen.
Exactly.
And we'll have to wait and see. Of course, Monterrey goalkeeper, what is his name, Barovero? I mean, he's gonna have a busy night. I would imagine him as well. So it's whether or not America's ready to showcase that they're really title contenders, and whether or not they're ready to say that, look, there's a reason why we're the defending champions.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I definitely agree with you.
So with that said, gentlemen, give me your prediction for Saturday, which is going to be at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Central, and of course 6 Eastern, and of course our good friends at Mountain Time, that is 4 p.m. for you guys as well, live through Univision. All right, gentlemen, who wants to kick it off? Who is giving me their prediction for Saturday's game?
I think I'm going 2-1.
2-1 for America.
For America,
Dylan?
yes.
Yeah, I think we'll go 2-1 too.
2-1. All right. I am going to be a bit adventurous here, and I am going to say another clean sheet. I'm going 2-0. 2-0. And our good friends at EA Sports, well, they're not even, I don't know if we can call them our good friends, but as always,
they're not our friends.
Well, they should be.
They should be, but they're not.
EA Sports has said that America will win 3-0 against Monterrey. And
I mean,
if you guys want to know something crazy, let me see if I can find it here. The goal scorers for America were Renato Ibarra and a double by Christian Insalrulde.
of course, this is how to be, right?
Mind you,
Listen.
the game is simming itself while we're podcasting in the background. And America wins by 3-0 against Monterrey. And Insalrulde, again, is the hero of the night.
I wouldn't be too surprised if we get a goal and you kind of see Monterrey break down a little bit, because they do get a little bit of flustered whenever they're down, and they get a little bit more adventurous. But then again, that also could be a positive for them, because then, with how talented their front four is, something can spring out. A chance here or there can give them a good opportunity. But I guess in the positive for us, they leave spaces more open for us to expose, and then maybe we can capitalize more on it. So I think getting the early goal, I guess, in the first 30 minutes, I guess you guys won't consider that early. I think that'd be key for us and gives us a good chance to win the game.
Don't be surprised if you see a very kind of rigged, ugly, dirty match where America walks out with maybe just one goal and that's it.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah.
Listen, if it's a 1-0 win and we play well, then I don't think we could be too upset.
Look, I'm just saying this much. It's a very interesting game. It's a very enticing game, and it's probably the game of the week. But
we just match up so well against them.
Yeah, but I will say this: do not be surprised if it's an ugly game and a very boring, dull game in the aspect that there's not that much exciting things going on. Because I promise you, these two teams will find a way to cancel each other out for most of the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Right? How many red cards will we see?
I'll be adventurous too.
I'll say 1.
Okay, Christian.
A red card, you guys said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's no red card. I don't think there's a red card.
No, it's fair.
No,
fair game.
no.
Okay,
That's fair, yeah.
Okay, nice. All right, then. Well, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. All right. So here is the dilemma now. Well, actually, there is no dilemma in that sense because it would be a win.
Yeah, maybe.
If we walk away with a draw, how are we feeling about this?
I think, like Dylan said, if we manage to play well, have a sense and idea, the ball doesn't want to go in, then I can't be too upset. But I think you do start to begin asking a little bit of questions, like, okay, who deserves to play, who doesn't deserve to play, type of questions.
I mean, we got a game in hand too.
Yeah, and
we do, and we are sitting third. We're sitting third with the game in hand.
So I would still like to continue a good run of form, which means a win. So
why'd you bang your table like that?
Like I'm knocking on wood to make sure that
I heard it. I heard you were like, well, nothing like that, but
knock on wood.
Is that metal?
No, what you heard was the springs of the
of the arm. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Look, the gentlemen are predicting a game with some goals. I'm predicting a couple of goals. FIFA, of course, is always predicting an abundance of goals. Mm-hmm. Remember last week, I think America won 4-3 or something like that on our FIFA simulation. But it's still a very interesting aspect to see whether or not this team can walk away with 3 points against a very, very tough opposition, against a very tough crowd, against a very good, lineup that Monterrey will field up. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, gentlemen, anything else before we close out the show?
Just tune in on Saturday. I think it's going to be, like you said, the game of the week. It should be a really good game. I'm excited for this one.
Dylan?
No, we hit it all.
Definitely. Now, before we leave, we did promise giveaway information in regards to our 600 followers. But before all of that, we do want to say thank you so much because the podcast has now reached 100 subscribers on YouTube. How crazy is that? 100 people on YouTube. That's going to be phenomenal. And by the way, yes, Mr. Chicken Nugget, thank you for reminding me this game is not going to be on Univision. I'm sorry for giving you guys fake news. It's going to be through Fox Sports and Fox Deportes. So for those of us who like to listen to the game in English, it would be interesting to see how it's going to go.
I'm actually interested to see what the English commentators have to say about our team because they don't get to watch us. Well, I mean, they probably do, but they don't get to talk about us. So
yeah,
it should be.
They should have invited one of us to be on the broadcast with them.
True. Imagine America moving to Fox
They
Deportes.
probably did, and we just didn't check our emails, and now it's a bit too late.
Yeah, probably. But maybe one day. Maybe one day.
I'm kidding. But thank you again, everyone. We have made it now to 100 subscribers on YouTube, and as always, once we reach that 100 mark, we promise something, and we will let you guys know as soon as we know, and it's going to be exclusive to only YouTube.
Yes, only YouTube. Tube of you. Tube of you.
Tube of you, and
Yes.
also our giveaway for our 600 followers is gonna be live here on YouTube as well. You are gonna have to be tuning in. You are gonna have to be watching, because we are going to pick from the chat. That is correct. We are gonna let you guys know all the details on Twitter, and we'll let you guys know all the details that day as well on the podcast. But next week, tune in, because we will be giving away our 600 follower giveaway, which again, Christian, can you remind them what the giveaway is?
The third jersey, the beautiful orange jersey that everyone wants to get their hands on.
The Chamflet edition is going to be going home with one of you lucky listeners here live on the podcast. So do everything in your power to be here tomorrow, because there is no set given time. We could do it right away from the beginning, or we could do it towards the end, towards the middle, 35 minutes in, 42 minutes in. We don't know yet. It's going to be random. So make sure you guys tune in to the podcast next week on Tuesday. We will be breaking down not only the Monterrey game, we'll be talking Copa MX, we'll be talking ladies, we'll be talking, the upcoming match against Querétaro. So we're going to be talking a lot about America, and going to be talking about the giveaway as well. So make sure you guys do tune in. Dylan, are you excited?
I am excited.
The
school got me drained. School's got me drained.
I start school next week. Oh, I'm dreading it already.
Congratulations to everyone who starts school, because yes, we all start school soon.
Ivan, when do you start school?
Yeah, next week as well.
Next week, 2028.
What the hell? Yeah, I'm 2 weeks in. Y'all barely starting.
You'll probably get out earlier, don't you?
Second week in May.
Oh, I got a third week. So yeah, there you go.
Second week in May. Damn. So a lot of announcements coming up. We'll probably give you guys a little bit of an insight what that YouTube giveaway is going to be. So make sure you guys do tune in. And if you guys are listening on SoundCloud and iTunes, and you guys want to be part of this giveaway, do your best to try to tune in, and maybe you'll be the one lucky winner that for the first time tunes in live and walks away with something. So make sure you guys do come in and show a little bit of love, and we'll do our best to have a fun giveaway, and then of course announce a little bit something about the YouTube as well. So it should be interesting. And if I'm not mistaken, on Twitter we're about 60 something followers away. 50 something, excuse me. We're about 56 followers away 54? From 700.
Yeah, 54 followers away.
54 followers away, and then we will do a 700 giveaway. That is completely crazy to think about that.
Yeah, it's insane. We just love giving giveaways.
And we just love having you guys' support. And a lot of people may think like, oh my gosh, you guys are just doing these giveaways to grow, blah, blah, blah. But it really isn't in that sense. The reason why we do these giveaways, the reason why we kind of target them so frequently is because we want to be the people who can be able to give something back, even if it's not the biggest of things. Our first giveaway was a scarf. Remember, Dylan? Do you remember that? Our first giveaway was a scarf. And it was when we got to 100 followers, and we just it's our way to be able to to give the community something. We know it's not enough. We know it will never be enough. For everything that you guys do for us, the support, the love, the sharing, the liking, the retweeting, the listening, everything. It's worth more than what we could ever give back to you guys. But in a sense, if we can do a little bit of something and give back to you guys, then that's what matters to us.
Yes.
And we're always going to be doing that for as long as we can, because it's a nice way to say, hey, look, we care just as much as you guys care. So thank you. And we'll see you guys here next week for what should be a very interesting podcast. We'll be talking a lot about America, and we'll be talking a lot about the giveaways as well. So make sure you guys do tune in. Gentlemen, anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
Just thank you guys for tuning in every Tuesday. It means a lot to us, and we'll see you guys here next week.
Done.
Thank you all. You're very appreciated. even though it sounded very monotone.
You were very monotone.
Thank you to everyone. Super Bowl's coming up too. Who you guys got?
The goat.
The Cowboys.
Oh,
Dylan, you know they're not in.
Hey, that's where my heart is. You can't blame me.
you're right.
So you're saying you're not gonna watch it?
I'll watch it, but if you ask me, I'm always gonna say the Cowboys.
I got the Patriots winning.
Me too.
I'm just saying. And everyone expects me to, just because you're in the city, everyone would expect you to go for the Rams. I don't know. I'm not feeling it, you know. But
Ram-
the podcast should go for the Rams. Hashtag Ram 'em.
Ram 'em.
I'll bring
Now
that.
that I'm thinking of it.
I'll bring that out.
You should.
Bring out the scarf for Super Bowl Sunday. Well, we'll leave that at that. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the podcast. Who knows? We'll see you guys next week, though. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. As always, hashtag Lady Aguilas tomorrow. And we'll have the boys to see in the Copa MX as well. We'll catch you guys on Saturday on Twitter. Make sure you guys follow us at Eagle Eye Podcast. And as always, arriba la America. Good night.